So you may have just gotten your visa and you're looking to take your first trip. Now you're ready to book your ticket and you're now searching for the cheapest flight. Well, in this video today, I will be assisting you on how you can identify the cheapest flight to your destination of travel. Knowing this can save you a lot of money in the long run. Now when you ask anybody about where to book cheap tickets, they'll normally tell you about Cheap on Air and Expedia.com. But recently I found out after doing several tests that Google Flights tend to list the flights at a cheaper price. How they do it, I don't know, given that the airline is who set the price. So maybe somebody's putting up the price somewhere. I don't know, I'm just assuming. So before I get into the video of showing you how to do all of this, the key thing is that the way you get cheaper flights is by booking different flights, right? So for example, if you want to travel with American Airlines for a round trip, that may not be the best option to save money, because for example, one way into America may cost $250 and the round trip on another airline may cost $100, while the round trip on American Airlines costs $250. So now you see, you're basically saving $100 when you book separate flights, and a lot of people are not aware of this, that they can go on separate airlines and book different tickets, right? So what these sites like Google Flights and Expedia and Cheap on Here allows you to do is that they pretty much find the best combination of departure and returning flights. So let's take a look at Google Flights and how you can achieve this. So guys, to get started, you want to go to www.google/travel/flights, or you can just search Google Flights in your browser and select the first link that comes up. So the first box here is your departure airport, and the second one here will be your destination airport. So it would be good that you know your airport codes before you try to book a flight, right? And here it's your departure date, and then here it's your return date. From here you can select the number of travelers, and from here you can select your filter, whether it be economy, premium economy, business, or first class. So these will filter the types that you see. So we're going to be going with the economy for now because we want to grab the cheapest flights. So you're going to change your departure airports. So for Kingston, Norman Manley International Airport, it's KIN. And if you're traveling to Miami, then the code is MIA. And that stands for Miami International Airport. Then the next step is to select your departure date. So you're going to click departure date. Now please keep in mind guys, the closer you book to your departure date, the more expensive it's going to be. So I recommend that you plan your trip 2 months in advance to get the best deals, right? We're in August now, right? It's August the 1st. Now look at the August prices compared to those of September, literally double. So it's good that when you're going to book your flight, you try to book a month or 2 in advance. And the next tip is that guys, when you're traveling, try to travel in the middle of the week. You tend to get better rates, because look at this here, September the 13th versus September the 10th, which is a weekend, or September the 9th, which is another weekend, right? So we're going to be traveling in the week, so I'm going to say September the 12th, and for the return date, I'm just going to say September the 29th. That's just about 2 weeks, and then select done. Now let's search, and these are the cheapest flights available. Now let's go on Cheap on Here and check the same dates. So it's September the 12th and September the 29th. So when you're on Cheap on Here, right, you want to select your departure airport, so I'm going to say KIN, and for destination airport, I'm going to say MIA. So my departure date was the 12th of September, and my return date was the 29th, right? So let's double check that. Right, the departure date was the 29th. So let's search for flight for one traveler. I just want to see flights only. So Cheap on Here, find some cheaper price. Now there are cases when Google Flights return cheaper flights. Like I said, I don't really know their mechanics behind these things, right? But in this case, Cheap on Here found some cheaper flights. Now I want to keep one thing in mind when you're booking with Cheap on Here. Now let's select this American airline flight, right? And I'm going to show you the workaround with this as well. They're going to charge you $22 as an agency fee. Now the way you avoid this fee guys is that you go directly to American Airlines and look for this flight. You look for the same departure time and the same return trip, right? And that's how you get the cheapest flights possible. So now let's take a look at Expedia. So when you're on Expedia, you want to select flights just like with Google Flights. Select the airport that you're leaving from. In this case, I'm going to say Kingston and I'm going to MIA, Miami International Airport. My departure date will be September the 12th and my return date is the 29th. So now let's select done here. Now let's search. So the cheapest flight they found was $260, which is the same American Airlines. Now let's go back to cheap on here and double check that price. So here, it's basically the same $260. However, the fees that they're charging you will add up to an additional $22. So it's bringing your flight up to $280. And a lot of people are not aware of that little $20 fee when they book with cheap on here. Now let's select this flight. Now I do recommend that you use these sites to find the flights and then you go directly to the carrier airline to book those flights. Because for example, with American Airlines, when you book through Expedia, you won't have the ability to select your seat immediately. However, when you book directly on the American Airlines website, you have the option to select the seat that you want. So if we go on American Airlines now, let's search for American Airlines. And we're going to search for the same flight. So we're doing a round trip from KIN to MIA, departure date the 12th of September and return date the 29th. Now let's do a search and you can see that we pretty much found the same flight. So you just book your flights from here. Again, you realize that with cheap on here, you'd have end up paid an additional $22 for no apparent reason. So guys, you have to keep those things in mind when you're searching for flights and use all those 3 websites that I've mentioned. You're gonna go Google Flights, cheap on here, and you're going to go Expedia.com. Now from the combination of those 3, you must can find a combination of flight that will give you the cheapest one-way in and a one-way return trip. So that's it for now guys. Thank you for watching and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.